Fernando Enrique Cardoso, welcome to Hard Talk.
Thank you very much. I'm very pleased to be here.
What I get from you, and we'll talk about LULA later, but what I get from you is a real sense of frustration that you had 2 terms in the presidential office and you were not able to change the political culture.
You're right. In the case,
why? Why
in the
did
case
you
of
fail?
political culture, you are right. I changed the country, I suppose.
Well, I'm not sure that you... Do you really believe that? I mean, again, I'm sorry to quote so many of your own words.
In terms of the economy, yes, no doubt.
Yeah, but let's go beyond the economy, because you said... And there's a sense of frustration in what you said. My government, you said, made education universal. Yes. But for what? What they now teach in schools is a disaster.
No. I'm not a pessimistic vis-à-vis Brazil. Maybe in this interview has a pessimistic tone. That's not the way I feel.
You were seen as a man who was a technocrat, perhaps even seen as a neoliberal by some in economic terms. You certainly hastened the pace of privatization. And yet, for all of your structural economic reforms, you couldn't solve the problem of the 2 Brazils, that is the middle class and the successful upper class in Brazil, who are a very tiny minority, and then the vast numbers, the millions and millions of Brazilians who live in poverty. And you couldn't, for all of your reforms, tackle that problem of poverty.
You are wrong. Sorry.
But Mr. Cardoso, if I may interrupt, many Brazilians will say, actually, poverty reduction became much more successful and speeded up after you left office and after LULA came into power, because LULA spent much more money on social programs, including the very well-known Bolsa Familia, which has lifted millions of people from abject poverty.
No.
Are you now, reflecting on what happened in your presidency and also under LULA, are you now saying that, actually, I've learned there are limits to market economics as applied to a country like Brazil? You can take privatization and neoliberalism too far.
Let me see. I never was a new liberal.
The President should give a clear lead on the issue of corruption.
Well, I think so.
Well, in that case, did you give a clear lead? You had 2 terms in office. What kind of lead did you give your country?
Well, you don't have any one case of a person in my government, indicted or something like that, one case of a person in my government, indicted or something like that, being safeguarded by me.
Well, that brings me to the essence of my case, if I may say so, because as I understand it, you appointed a federal prosecutor general, Geraldo Brindero, who sat in office for years and received, according to the Brazilian press, over 600 inquiries, I think they're called, into criminal behavior by public officials. Now, the vast majority of those inquiries were simply filed away. I think he even developed a nickname in Brazil as the sort of the filing clerk.
Yeah.
Now, is that because you're telling me there was no wrongdoing at all in power when you were president, or is it simply because he sat on those allegations?
Let me put very clear to you that in Brazil, the fiscal is absolutely independent from the executive branch. Absolutely independent.
But you appointed him.
Yes, but he's independent. He judged by himself.
That's what I'm getting to is this. You say, and you've said it again on this program, LULA has to give a lead. LULA has to be strong.
Yes, but...
Are you telling me there were no charges brought against any MPs or any members of your government over an 8-year period? Are you telling me that politics was entirely clean?
Could you give me the name of one?
No, I'm just asking, do you think politics was entirely clean?
No one has been...
but the fact nobody was charged perhaps suggests that or even
accused by the press. No one minister.